Welcome to lead dust wipe sampling.
I'm going to assume that people know where to collect wipe samples from, depending on the project that they're working on. We're just going to talk about the technique for collecting the wipe sample. First things first, back in the day, we were able to use wipes off the store shelf like this. As long as they didn't have aloe in them, we were able to use just about any type of wipe we want. Since the update to the HUD guidelines, we have been required to use wipe samples that are ASTM approved. Right here, where it says ASTM E1792. Okay, that's the ASTM standard for collection of wipe samples. We've been required to use those in California, I believe, since 2008. And I believe it's the rest of the country has been since the HUD guidelines were updated in 2012. Next, we're going to talk about how you determine what area you wipe. Typically for a wipe sample, we want 1 square foot. So we could measure a square foot and then take tape, lay it out, and make ourselves a square foot. 1 foot this way, 1 foot this way, here, here, and we have a 1 square foot. I have a little bit of a problem with that in that we're trying to measure micrograms, 1/1 millionth of a gram, and tape doesn't lay out perfectly straight. Measurements aren't 100% accurate, and yet we're talking about as little on a floor as 10/1 millionths of a gram. If you don't lay your square out perfectly straight, you're not 100% sure that you have wiped 1 square foot. So I prefer to use a template. Now, at some point in time, I have measured my template to assure that it is 12 by 12. I get my template out. It's a 1 square foot by 1 square foot template. Now, I don't want my template moving. If it moves, again, I'm going to wipe more than 1 square foot. So I'm going to tape my corners down on my template, making sure that I don't cover over the open portion of the template. Now my template should be in place solid. For floor samples, where our clearance and hazard level for the federal EPA right now is 10 micrograms per square foot, we have to sometimes, depending on the lab, collect a 2 square foot wipe sample, not a 1 square foot wipe sample. You'd have to collect the sample here and then directly adjacent to it, do it again. You could measure 2 square feet one way by 1 square foot this way and get a 2 square foot wipe sample. It all depends on the lab that you're using. Some labs can get down to a reportable limit of 10 micrograms per square foot with a 1 square foot wipe sample. Some labs require 2 square feet in order to get down to the reporting limit of 10 micrograms per square foot. And remember, a hazard is 10 micrograms per square foot. A clearance is below 10 micrograms per square foot. I like to bring a piece of paper along with me. Actually, I take 1 piece of paper for every sample I'm going to collect. And I put my tools on the clean paper. Put my wipe sample on the clean paper. Next, I'm going to put my gloves on. I like to use a 2-glove method just to make sure I keep my hands clean. So I'm going to take my ASTM approved wipe, open it, remove it from the container, and open it fully. You get it completely open. There we go. That took a while. Fully open and laid down in one corner of my template. Now, a lot of people like to wipe like this with only the fingertips touching the wipe. All that does is wipe where your fingers touch. You want to put pressure down. I like to use the back of my hand, but a lot of people like to use the front of their hand. Okay? And they'll go like this, and they'll wipe up and over and down and over and then up like this. Okay? I'm going to tell you what I just did wrong there in a minute, but not wrong by regulation, wrong by state-of-the-art wipe samples. But first, let's talk about how we fold the wipe. Okay, now, a lot of people like to pick the wipe up like this and make it nice and neat and fold it and then place it back down. Hey, look, I didn't even make it all that nice and neat. They place it back down. They take a lot of time to do that, make it nice, neat looking, okay? And then they're going to wipe it in this direction. like this. Again, remember you want all the pressure from all the fingers on it. Again, I find it easier to put lots of pressure on it by the back of my knuckles, but and come across this way. And now the way we should fold it is just pick it up and lay it down. Right, now we got clean side outside, dirty side inside. Now on the outside ring, the third wipe, you want to go and use just 3 fingers, 2 or 3 fingers, 2 or 3 fingers worth of pressure. Okay. You go across, emphasize that corner, across, emphasize the corner, across, emphasize the corner, and down back to where you started, emphasizing the corner, pick it up, put it into your wipe. Now, what I'm going to show you is what state-of-the-art wipe sample would look like. Okay, so we're going to start back here with our flat wipe sample. Again, I'm going to use pressure from the whole hand or the fingers of the hand, not just the fingertips. Okay. My first wipe, okay, actually I'm going to do it, well, I'll do it the way most people do it. I go up this way. Now, I'm going to turn it. I'm going to move it a little this way. I'm going to turn it again and then wipe down this way. I'm going to turn it again, and wipe this way. Okay. Turn it one last time. You get that little strip that I missed at the end. Okay. So I'm just going to stop there for a second and go back and show you what the difference was. The first wipe sample that we took, okay, we went up and then we slid our hand over and we came back. Okay, we slid our hand over and we went back. When we do that, what we do is create a snow plow. We're pushing lead dust in front of us. We're sliding over, might take it with us, but then when we come back, lead dust could slough off the back. We've created a pile of it that's underneath here, minuscule pile, microscopic pile, but yet a pile. We might be leaving it behind. And people say, well, you'll pick it up on that ring around the outside. But if behind is that far and we're only wiping that much of it on the outside, we could be leaving some behind. So in a state-of-the-art fashion, again, no regulation requires you to do this to my knowledge at this point, but in a state-of-the-art wipe sample, okay, I'm going to use the back of my hand so that I don't have to lift my hand. Watch as my thumb is in front. Okay, my thumb's in front, my thumb's in front, my thumb's in front, all the way back down. Okay, now I can fold it over, and my thumb's in front, spin, my thumb's in front. Okay, all the way to the top. I fold it over again, and I do my wipe around the edges in case I didn't get nice and tight. And then my sample can go into my centrifuge tube. I can close the centrifuge tube, and then I can label it and send it to a lab. That technique of wiping the sample with the thumb in front all the time is called leading edge. Okay, and what it does is it prevents that snowplow effect, that when you back up a snowplow, you leave debris behind. And remember, we're talking millionths of a gram. The only thing left to really do is clean up. I would want to pick up my template, wipe it down with another wipe sample or some other cloth to clean it so I don't take lead with me to the next spot. And I would want to throw away my debris, including my gloves. So this is how we take the gloves off safely. I want to pinch the wrist, okay, and I can turn the glove inside out. It's going completely inside out. So this is all clean area. Put it inside that one. This one I don't pinch the wrist. I slide underneath and pull my hand out like that. Again, never having touched the dirty side of the wrist. These get thrown away along with my piece of paper here. Okay? And again, dirty side in, right? That gets thrown into my garbage bag. Thank you for your time. I'll see you at the next session.